Gomphus dragonfly nymph. Step 1.
For this fly, we're going to use a number 6, 2x long streamer nymph hook. Something with a good gap.
Step 2.
We're going to take some olive deer fur here and take out a nice clump. We're going to use something of good quality for spinning, something a little more hollow, and get rid of this underfur. And reverse that clump of deer hair and tie it in the butt ends facing the tail. That way we don't catch it around the hook gap as much as we would with the long ends pointed towards the tail. Wrap back towards the tail, back through the deer, towards the head, only one time. It's important here that we use monocord thread too because we're spinning deer hair. Color's not really that important. Extend right back to where the hook starts to bend.
Step 3.
Now come in with another prepared clump of deer hair, butt ends back, spin that in there, wrapping towards the tail to butt up against our last clump and towards the head.
How hard are you pulling the thread? You're pulling it almost to the breaking point in order to
Almost,
tie that on?
yes, almost.
Step 4.
And one more clump should fill in 2/3 of the body that we're trying to tie in right now. And with each clump of spun deer hair, you want to take your thumb and forefinger on both hands and compress the hair to make it nice and tight. Leaving that space there for the head of the fly. Now we're going to whip finish and tie off at this point so that we can trim our body without cutting the thread and having the fly come undone.
Step 5.
The first few snips are going to be directly across the top and directly across the bottom, definitely clearing the bottom of the fly so that we've got lots of hook gap in there. And slowly maneuver this fly, trim it away to achieve the shape you're going to see here. Quite a bit thicker towards the back of the fly. Kind of a teardrop shape. That space in there, that's very important.
Step 6.
Now take and reattach our monocord. I'm going to use some turkey quill for the legs here. Some soft pheasant body or grouse, partridge, anything will do fine for this. It's not necessary, as long as they're a little bit speckled. Tie those in so they extend about halfway down the body on either side of the fly. Probably less legs is better than more. You don't want a huge cluster of them on either side.
Now, on these ones, the tips that are towards the back, are they?
Correct. You want the tip of the feather facing the tail end of the fly. They lay nicely alongside either side of the fly.
Step 7.
Now we're going to spin on the head of the fly with another prepared clump with all the underfur removed, butt ends facing back. And one clump of hair should do it this way. And wrap right butt up against the legs and body and work our thread back towards the head. Just a bit of practice finding out how much deer hair to use. And again, it's better to use more small clumps than one or two larger ones. Pull all those hairs out of the way.
Step 8.
Now what we're going to do is take and trim the head, and we want to make sure that the top and bottom are quite flush to the hook, because the bug itself is quite flat. And you'll see when we trim the sides here, we want the portion towards the eye of the hook to be quite a bit wider than the portion towards the legs. And that creates the shape of where the eyes would be on the insect itself.
After you made this one, I had to go and look at a picture of one of these, see if that was really what they look like. And I was amazed at how close this looks to the Gomphus.
They're really ugly, fuzzy ambush predator, and they live right in the weeds, and they're quite rough looking and a goofy shape. You can see that there where it's kind of bulkier towards the eye.